Well, it's 6:30, so we'll call together the regular scheduled Public Works and Public Utilities Committee meeting. Has attendance been taken?
Yes.
Attendance is taken. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll open up to comments from citizens. If you step up, please state your name and address.
I think that was my cue. My name's Rob Townsend. I'm the district director for Great Rivers Council, Boy Scouts of America. We cover a 33 county area throughout north and central Missouri. Just happen to live here in town, so I know most of you. For those that I don't know, hello. Wanted to answer any questions that you guys had with specifics to you guys starting an Explorer post for the police department. I understand you guys had some questions.
I think it had to do with the Boy Scouts filing for bankruptcy or something.
Chapter 11, the national council, not the local council, national organizations filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That has absolutely zero bearing on the financial structure within each individual council. Each individual council is owned and operated as a charter, just like our units are operated as a charter for an organization. Any money, therefore, that, for example, if Explorer Post was to take and raise any money throughout the course of the year to help support their program, that money is entirely owned and by the chartering organization, which in this case would be either the police department, city council, or whomever you guys choose to put that in. That's not money that we can even touch within the local council. The impact at the local level is really pretty negligible.
So the only indebtedness that you guys have would be something that you bring on yourself locally at your charter?
That's correct.
Because the other would not be affiliated with you in that way?
That's correct.
That was the biggest.
No, we get a lot of questions about it.
Yeah.
And it's a financial restructure that obviously, brought on by some lawsuits in the past. 90% of those are from more than 30 years ago. Our record's been pretty good for a long time, to be quite honest about it. But that's the primary reason for it, but it's not going to impact local Great Rivers Council.
That was the part of concern.
That was it.
There is insurance, obviously insurance coverage on anything that they do, that falls within our youth protection guidelines, which are very stringent, as folks that have been involved in Scouts can attest to. And I'll leave some of this information with Logan so that you guys can see it. It's got some figures in it that you guys may be interested in or may not be interested in. I've also got some frequently asked questions with regards to units and also some frequently asked questions for vendors as well. Not that that would necessarily apply to the city, but it might be interesting for you guys to take a look at it as well. I'll leave a couple business cards. If you need something, give me a shout. Any number of people around here have my contact information.
Yeah.
So.
I think too, from talking to him, I know I'd give you all the figure back a month or two ago. It was gonna cost something around the ballpark of $472. He said being that it's in the late part of the year, it'd be prorated, so it would be cheaper for this year, assuming maybe half that or a little less. I did not know that at the time. And then the new registration, or the renewal would be, I believe, October 1st? December of the next year.
Yep.
So, and then that would still apply for the $25 fee is what the website says to add a new, charter.
I might add that you guys are in complete control of whoever wants to be a leader, regardless of what kind of background check comes up. It's you all's baby. You all can run it pretty much however you deem necessary. If you want to limit activities to, kids over a certain age, they have a certain GPA, that's entirely your right to do.
Heather, I did give you the policies and procedure manual for the program that was looked at by Sydney Mayfield as well. As far as the chairman go, for this, I had selected the chief, the lieutenant, secretary, which I still haven't figured that part out yet, and then the program coordinator. And then that would be slotted for 6 cadets. We already have 3 that are very interested in the program. I think they'll be good fits for the city. I believe I have a few more kids that are interested in it, and I think it'll be a good thing for them.
So they're students here in Centralia?
It's usually a pretty good partnership. A lot of you have seen the partnership that we have with the County Sheriff's Department.
And they too go through Scouts of America. They've had it for
About 30 years probably or more. So I remember seeing them when I was a kid. They've been around for a while. Anything else? Thanks, guys. Appreciate what you do for the community.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Good to see you, Tim.
Good. Any other comments from citizens?
Yes, that's me. Till 6 o'clock, I didn't know I was coming here, so. I've been
Give me a
in
shout,
contact
let me know
with
what I
Heather.
can do.
As you know, I'm Misty Williams, been Mo Mud. We just started the new coffee truck that's been, and, so, we weren't aware that there was anything we were gonna have to do. We just thought if we have business, sponsored us or said, hey, come park in our place, that we would park there and we would sell coffee. And, so we weren't aware and that was a problem until Glossy Goat had us opening night and found out that they were supposed to go through some type of process to be able to park there and sell for us to park there. So, I had been in contact with Heather and she's kind of filled me in. I guess, I have some dates, because then I came back with some dates of, we've got In Full Bloom who would like to have us park in front of their business, and we have Chic Boutique that would like to park in front of their business. And then I also have the Rollins Inn that would like us to park in their business on Halloween night. So there are some issues, it seems, that we can't park in certain places and we can park in other places. And so I guess this is more my ability to maybe answer some questions and also just to maybe make I don't know if it's a plea with you. I've been in contact, my cousin lives in Columbia and food trucks are big in Columbia. And just I knew he had a residential, they have at once a month, all these food trucks come to their residential area, park in their dead-end street, and everybody from the community comes around, and everybody comes out and gets food from their food trucks. And it's not that big of a deal where they park. So I guess just maybe consider that, food trucks are new. I get it. They're new to us. They're not new to cities, big cities, but they're new to smaller cities. And just maybe consider, I don't know, coming up with maybe an easier way that we can go out and do business without making it a lot of different steps I have to go through in order to get that done. So, questions for me?
You all do have a memo in your packets in the back of the second meeting packet at the very end. And it has the dates and times listed. So currently, the way our code is written, businesses can operate in areas that are zoned for business. The Rollins Street Inn is not a business district. It's an R2. That's why we had to go through the conditional use permit to be able to allow it to operate. It is residential. It's R2. Typically, food trucks, we don't have an issue with food trucks. We have lots of food trucks that are licensed here. They just have to have permission from the owner of the property to park there. So sometimes they park in O'Reilly's. Not a big deal. That's not us. We don't have anything to do with that. As long as they're licensed, we don't care. As long as they have permission from O'Reilly's. Pringer's was always one. But these parking spots, like where Moonshine and Lacewood parked in front of the Glossy Goat, they had to get permission from the board because that's a public street. Those are public parking spots. So, we would have to ask permission for these public parking spots to have it. So my memo, I asked for the board to consider giving permission for the dates that she listed. One is actually in the parking lot that's right beside Tangles, between Tangles and Alberts, and that's a city parking lot. So we would need board permission for that, permission for, in front of In Full Bloom and Chic. And then I'd also like the board to consider giving the mayor permission to grant permission if someone comes and asks, says, hey, I wanna park at these certain dates, these times, and these locations and public parking spaces or public lots, that you might be able to give the mayor permission for a certain period of time, or just blanket permission, however you all would like to do that, but that's what I would like to ask for. And that way we don't have to take it to a board meeting every single time.
So the first part of it, do we have a motion on these 3 dates?
I motion to approve these 3 dates.
I have a first and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None, so that carries. So
Okay.
those 3 dates are approved.
Thank you very much.
For the other, would that be something we gotta do next week with the formal ordinance?
I don't know, I'll talk to Sydney about that to see, we can consider that next Monday night, because that's not as pressing of an issue. We did actually have a suggestion about.
Yeah, instead of at the VRBO, what about the library? Maybe get permission from the library?
Yeah, I think we're celebrating her 100 year. The house has been there 100 years, and we're celebrating her 1 year. So that's kind of why we
Well,
were
maybe
celebrating
across the
that.
street and you can
But
still
is there a way, because since Columbia allows it in residential areas and not just R2 areas, is there something that we could reconsider? Only special occasions. I'm not going to go park in residential
I mean, you
areas
can
on a
park around
regular
my house
basis.
every Saturday.
I mean, they're gonna be special to,
We have,
things.
the board has the authority to give permission to close off a street or a part of a street for a certain period of time. They can do that. You're looking at changing the zoning chapter, and that takes public hearings, and that takes, time, so it would not be done in your time frame.
It doesn't sound like it would happen for this year. It
Right.
doesn't mean it's completely out,
Right.
it's just it won't happen.
Okay.
But if
in
you
the
want
next
to
3
ask the
weeks.
board for permission for that date, then that's something they could consider.
What date is that?
October 31st.
What times?
3 to, what do we say, 3 to 8?
3 to whenever.
Yeah.
I'm flexible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me just say, John and I are learning really quick that, wow, lots of great support, but I don't know that he and I can stand longer than 4 hours and do what we've been doing. So I'll just say 4 hours probably max at her place. It won't be an all-day thing. It'll be that evening probably. Hopefully it'll be cold on Halloween. We'll give you lots of hot drinks, but that's, we're asking for a 4-hour time period. It does take an hour for us to set the coffee pot up, get everything hot, and then before we can serve it. So it'll be a total of maybe 5 hours.
So we can do a motion for a special road blockage for this?
But I would say not to block off the entire street.
No.
I think depending on where you put it would play a lot.
Is everybody familiar with the mud hut, I respectfully call it? Is everybody familiar with this thing? Because this thing is not very
It's
big.
10
It's
feet.
tiny,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's small.
It's very
10
tough.
foot.
It's very, very good.
10 foot
rates
count.
and,
Would it be parked in the driveway?
We're planning on parking up near her, it's
Back there.
the.
I have a circle driveway,
Yeah.
and then I also have a concrete area right by the garage, which
And we
I
were gonna
thought she
park
would
right
be
on
able
the
to park
concrete
that
area.
way
So
people
it'll be
go
off the
through.
It's off the
Off the
street, it's
street.
on
So
property.
it's
It doesn't even require.
It's no worse than a
walking
garage
over.
sale.
Exactly.
That's the
Garage
point I
sales
was
are
bringing
worse.
up.
Yes, yes. We're not blocking off any streets.
No.
I'm not parking.
I think it's sitting there, people trying to get served out of it in the street creates a totally different issue, right? Of
Right.
traffic, people, kids.
And there's
bikes.
already gonna be.
And if it's gonna be over there on the property,
Right.
then they're stopping, no different than they stop to look at, the yard for a gun sale.
Exactly, right.
Okay, well, I make a motion for a special permission for October 31st for the mid-mow mud truck.
Second.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
I
carries.
appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you. Appreciate your support.
You guys, I got the copies that Robert
Thank you.
sent with me, so. There's 6 or 7.
That was
You all know what I meant. That's all that matters. On that note, I'm off
We
duty.
followed.
I'm going home. See y'all later.
Thanks for all you
See you in the
do.
morning.
Yeah, I'll be here. Maybe if I know who I am.
Okay, any other comments from citizens?
Oh, you still public comment?
Here's
I have a question. I'm Don Foreman, by the way. When does the city pick up trash downtown?
Downtown,
Yes.
Tuesday?
The trash cans in front of the buildings.
Oh, I don't know.
Because it's been over a month since the one in front of my building has
Oh,
been
you
picked
mean,
up.
so the park department?
The parts does that.
So I know that they had picked, they cleaned all the city square trash last Wednesday.
And
So I-
Thursday, they'll be picking some up Thursday afternoon too.
Well,
So you have to ask
they have
her.
not got the one in front of my office. It's been there for over a month and it's full.
Okay.
You guys on there.
Yeah.
Any other comments from citizens?
That's pretty straightforward.
We will, seeing none, we'll close comments from citizens and move on to the electric department. Activity report is in the packet. Anything you want to point out?
I'll just staying busy with new services and moving a couple poles, cutting trees, pretty standard stuff. We did it, all except for the meters we didn't have, which I've got those ordered, which takes about 8 to 10 weeks to get them. We've still got a few to put in for the most part. I'm gonna say 25. For the most part, everything's in.
Good. Any questions from the activity report?
I have one more question while he brought that up, made me think of it. Have we ever gotten easements from Boyd and them out there on, west side of town, for the south, for the extra 10 feet for that utility easement?
I assume we did, in
I
the,
thought you added that too. It shows it on the map,
off of Columbia Street?
in the back of the property.
Right,
Yeah.
did we get those
Yeah,
signs
it's
approved?
on there,
Okay.
yeah.
You'll say it showed.
Yeah, when he
'Cause I
started,
couldn't remember whether we had finished that or not.
yeah, cause there was a question about that one lot joins up with Addie. And you're looking at the map of.
No, not on Eddie, I'm talking about on Boyd's other development.
Margarita Court.
Oh,
Margarita Court.
Well, I don't know. I know the electric's in. All
Well,
the street names.
I was thinking that was on there. I'll check on that. I think it's on there.
Check and see if we've done those, if we haven't, I will big boy this, and then we
So
sign.
Mike, you'll take a look at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Moving on, anything for generation and purchase? Distribution, other? Anything? Okay. Move on to public works. Street activity report is in the packet. So 69 locates a lot.
No. No, that's probably pretty average 50 to 70 area.
Oh, I had somebody ask me a question about the street department. Somebody wanted to know if we bought a new street sweeper and if you would go down Mystic.
No, we can't go down there.
Okay?
So yes, we did.
Sounds
Yes, we
like
all wanna
self-service
know
stuff.
you're not gonna go down Mystic.
We haven't gotten out to the little streets and stuff yet, but we will definitely get there.
And did we get a new one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll get there. Here when Lee's finished dropping, we'll be trying to get all the little side streets that are curved.
Anything you want to point out in your packet?
Oh, it was a pretty busy month. We got rid of a bunch of brush. Foster's come up. We got rid of about 10 truckloads of brush.
spent several days out working on the landfill, mowing and fixing some spots that needed repair. Did several drainage projects, had a suck hole over by the old Ford Chevrolet and ended up doing a bunch of repairing over there, had to dig up and replace some pipe, build some new inlets and stuff. Several street repairs and street patches and stuff.
Any questions on the activity report?
I got a question about, it ties with something that may arise probably, but cleaned up piles of recycling around this recycling bin several times. That seems to be continued to be
It's usually every Monday.
yeah.
Mondays they just, weekends everybody's doing it and a lot of them don't take the time to put it in.
Yeah.
We open the spots, they just don't put it in.
And sometimes there'll be, like Mike said, it'll be a big box, they don't wanna break it down, so they'll throw it to the side, and then people see that, and they'll just start tossing it to the
Now, what are
side.
we seeing? We still seeing a lot of trash being thrown in there as well, not the right stuff?
There's a bag full of sticks that were all bagged
Yeah,
up
we had
nice the
two or
other
three
day.
bags of sticks one day, that was a first, but I don't think we're having too much trash, I mean, it's just once in a while, I mean, you'll have some people that just don't clean boxes out and this and that, but for the most part, I think most people are doing it right.
Columbia's doing a pretty good job of staying on schedule with pickups, it seems like right now, so the 3 days a week is definitely helping.
Okay. Anything else for streets, sanitation, stormwater, other?
Still doing several drainage projects we're working on. Hopefully get it wrapped up before this winter hits.
Move on to water and sewer, activity packet. The activity sheet is in the packet. Something on here, I was gonna ask about, and I don't know what it was. Anything you wanna point out?
No, just been, trying to keep up with new construction stuff, putting those services in, providing that, and the only thing out of the ordinary on here is, I think the golf course, we spent some time out there with them trying to get some leaks fixed. That would be the only thing out of the ordinary really on ours.
Any questions on the activity report? Okay, for water, sewer, other?
Nope, sewer's been pretty, knock on wood, pretty quiet for a little bit. We had some customers with some issues that they had to resolve on their own. It had nothing to do with us, so.
Okay. Moving on to other, Mike, your report's in the packet, anything you wanna point out?
Been working on easements, we're back on that pretty hard again, we're getting close, we're starting to get those turned back in. At this time, we've got 4 that we're gonna have to do maybe a little negotiating with. And one of those, I think, is settled as good as it's probably gonna get settled, so we'll just have to bring it to you all, go from there on that. On the wastewater side, I was out there meeting with Tyler Rhodes and Mike Foster about digging his basin along the Bartlett and West. I noticed Tyler had somewhere he's gonna put pivots logged. I called the logging company and met with him last Friday. And the Douglas Farm, we're gonna have that logged. We gotta take the trees out anyway to get in there, we might as well get something out of it. So they're gonna, he actually, I think, is planning on starting tomorrow. So just to let you all know that, but this may help some of this easement money and get something out of it for sure and clean it up, so.
They pay us.
Nice, hey, every little bit helps, right?
Yeah. Other than that, just been trying to help out where I can with the guys, what they're doing, and trying to get places filled. I'll just go ahead and say, what he's been doing this last week was hauling clean fill. We had so much out there, we couldn't even get the vehicle between the dozer shed and where the pile was. And how many loads you say you probably got now?
We're probably 180.
So we're getting rid of a lot of that. Concrete's always a problem to get rid of. And we got people right now that are definitely wanting it. And like for Tyler Rhodes Pond, he would like to have some for next year, so we're separating as we go. And I think it's gonna get us down to a really good, workable, manageable spot now, so get that done and try to we've got some places that are actually pretty close to town, so it's helping out, get rid of those pretty quick.
Had several people that all of a sudden wanted a bunch of fills, so it's worked out nice.
That's all I've got.
Any asthma arise?
What are we doing with that area between the glossy goat and the dentist office?
As far as the
That has
alleyway,
like- Yes, it has like dog feces and stuff like that.
we weeded down through there once on some areas and stuff. Most of that should be, I would think, the business owners to take care of. It's kinda like the flower shop couldn't get in and out of their parking spot because the dumpster kept getting left out because weed was so bad there. Phil went and opened up a spot and rocked it so they can keep it away from where she was normally parking. So we did that. We get through some of this hall and we can maybe do a little bit more cleaning back there and everything, but that alley's pretty much used for cutting through and dumping whatever they got, so.
Yeah, 'cause it's disgusting. It really is.
Is that's not a legal alley, though, is it?
I don't think so. I don't have.
I mean, that should be the landowner's responsibility, because I don't think there's a legal alley there.
They used to keep that dumpster there when JJ's was on that, they keep that grease dumpster back there, which kept a lot of people out just because of the smell. Well, it's not there anymore, so. But we can look at maybe doing a little bit there.
Okay. Any other asthma arise?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?